Welcome back to the Q&A episode 2. So in this video, I will go over and answer some of the questions and analyze charts from the Telegram group members. So if you're not inside my Telegram groups, so feel free to join the Telegram group for free. The link is in the description below and I will see you inside. All right, so let's get started. The first question comes from Sean Law. Could you do an analysis on Censof, ITRONICS, and NovaMSC? Okay, sure. Let's have a look. So of ITRONICS. Okay, so let's have a look. Censof. All right, so this is Censof. Well, in general, is in an uptrend. I would say is still relatively okay or decent. Let's just focus on the recent price action. I think recently there is a pullback. So it's currently testing this accelerated bar to the upside. So this is the breakout bar or the accelerated bar to the upside. And it's a very important bar, so it needs to get tested. So this is the reaction right after the breakout. And I think it's also in line with the overall broad market sentiment. So it's not very good at the moment. But just looking at this individual stock, Censof, I think is considered as one of the strong stocks. So at the moment, although it's just a drop below this support, or maybe call it the access line, where the previous resistance now turned a support level, but just look at it as a support zone rather than just a single line. So this is the bar that we need to pay attention to. As long as it gets tested, there's a chance for Censof to bounce back up. So that's probably the area that I'm paying attention. So if you can just bounce up from here, there is a chance for Censof to travel to the upside. Looking at the reaction volume is generally not on the high side. I would say it's slightly more if we compare it to probably this sort of the reaction. So it's slightly more, but we still need to pay attention to the result. So let's see how it ended for this sort of the reaction. So this is the immediate support area. If it breaks here, probably the next support level that you will be watching is somewhere around 40 cents. So this is the area you need to pay attention to for the support. So this is sense of, in general, the reaction is still unfolding short term. So next stock thing is Itronics. So Itronic, well, doesn't really look good to me. We have a very speculative run up that comes with a ton of the volume, and this is general speculative stocks. So that is definitely quite a level. You can see that this is the breakout bar, breakout. So having come back and tested the access line, resistance becomes support, and have some form of the continuation to the upside. But because there is a ton of the volume and also this is a ton of the supply as well. So essentially just a lot of people selling on the way up. So this is a form of the distribution. And you can see that the price just collapsed subsequently. Even there is some form of the spike. These are all the selling, or you can call it the escape wave. Especially, I think let's focus on the last few trading bars. It's sort of, this is the immediate support level. You can see here, once it's bounced it up, there's a attempt to rally. So there's some form of the volume come in to push the price up. But I think there are quite a lot of the supply, especially on the third bar here. You can see there's a rejection tail. So here comes a reaction. Certainly, I think the support level about 20 cent is quite a nice level to watch. If you just come back and have a bounce up, I think that could offer some form of the nice reward to risk ratio. So your risk is relatively low, while your rewards, at least, I will say, could be somewhere around here, about 26. So until it breaks above this level, 26 or 27, generally, I don't think is bullish. So far it's quite a bearish stocks. It's attempt to bottom up at the moment, so that could be still in the bottoming process. So I would say it's in the bottoming process for ITRONIC. Okay, so next stock is Nova MSC. So Nova MSC is also a penny stock, 15-16 cents, but looking at the structure, it has been in this up channel for quite some time. So let's quickly look at this channel. So there we go, that's the channel. I think is the structure is within this channel is still developing very well. So what I will be paying attention is at the demand line of the channel, which is somewhere around here, 13 cent. If you can just come back, then you buy near the channel support and sell near the channel resistance or the overbought line. So every time you hit the overbought, especially that comes with volume, then you see there's a reaction. But so far, I don't really see any special structure, especially apart from this up channel. So overall, I would say NovaMSC is still probably within an uptrend, but the trading strategy would be we need to be quite careful. So this is the probably support, I think about 13 cents. That's the level that we can pay attention to. That's in line with the channel demand line support plus the horizontal support level, or 12.5, somewhere around there. So just keep watching. All right, so that's all these three stocks. Okay, next question comes from Trader. Okay, would like to get your views on good entry point for Dnex. Okay, sure. I think Dnex is quite a stock, quite a hot stock recently. And what I would like to do is just to point out, because the first that I analyzed Dnex is probably around 3 weeks ago. That's just before the breakout, somewhere around here. I think this could be the last bar that I analyzed in my videos 3 weeks ago. So let me walk you through my analogy. So about the entry, and I will also express my view on the upcoming development as well. So in Dnex, I think at that point of time before the breakout happened, that is a nice structure. Why is that? Firstly, because we have a background of the uptrend. So this is uptrend, although it comes with a ton of the volume, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a lot of the speculation push the price up. And eventually we can see that this support level around 68 cents has been respected very well. It has been tested a few times, so this is the first time. Once it's breaking out, here's a backup action, forming a kind of the flag type of the reaction. Subsequently, there's a continuation to the upside. But this sort of the supply just kept the upside movement, and eventually there is the reaction. Okay, so after that, it just hit this support level again, and it just bounced up. So my logic to enter long at that time was based on the structure development with this breaking down or breaking out of the immediate downtrend line. So this is the first change. And subsequently, there is another breakout. We form a higher high, higher low. And there is a supply absorption process going on there. So I just enter a prompt size, prompt position right at this consolidation. I think it's whether either this or the bar after. So either these two bar offer very good entry level because it just clearly shows supply absorption, where we can see that the supply level has been going down. And subsequently, I actually anticipate some kind of the breakout of this swing high level at 835. So indeed, it did break out. So right after that, there is a slight consolidation. So this is the consolidation breaking out. So I actually anticipate some form of the test of the previous resistance zone that's around 95 to about 1. So I actually anticipate it can reach there. However, I think on this day, can't remember that what day is that, but certainly I think this is where there is news about Honghai acquire a portion of Dnex. So this is certainly an optimistic news. But look at the results and look at the supply. So there's a lot of the supply come in with the bearish results. So I did scale out partial of my trade somewhere around 90 cent. So this is attempt to rally. I just anticipate some kind of the continuation to the upside, but until the next day. So this is sort of the failure or a red flag at least. So you attempt to rally, this is sort of like a reversal signal, but it's actually can't really come in above and fail the next day. If not, this next bar should really prompt you to scale out further position if you are really trading for a swing. So what I mean a swing is really if I rely on this little structure, a swing means this. So this is just one swing from about 83 to 90 or 1. So this is one swing. So if you are a long-term trader, if you are looking at very long-term structure, or you are very optimistic about the prospects or the future of Dnex, then this is something that you need to consider, the whole structure, rather than just looking at the recent development, because even until now, the long-term structure is not damaged yet. So I will only be very bearish if it can just break below this immediate support level with huge supply and huge bearish bar. Then I think it should just temporarily will just retrace back. Otherwise, it's just part of the developing structure right after a sign of strength rally. So there's nothing threatening so far for long term, but for short term, certainly, like I mentioned, the first sign is the spike of the supply at this bar here, and the second sign would be this little bar, either this bar or the next bar should prompt you to further scale out your position. And the third will be just probably either this bar, or even the capitulation bar. So you need to just exit, because if you base on this little structure, your stop should set below somewhere around 80, just below this breakout bar. So that is for short-term trading. So that is my entry just before it break up. And so far, there is no entry to me, definitely. And we have a reaction since this spike of the supply. So we see the spike of the supply, and the subsequent reaction is still an ongoing development of the correction or the pullback. So I think it just broke this level, and the next level is 75 cent, and it has broken. Right now, it looks to me it's a bit oversold. It's probably attempt to rally up. It can't just come in above 75. Then I think it will just continue down to test the swing low level. And I think we see another comment here. So that is from my idea is wait for the price rejected from the yellow spot. So thanks for your comment. I would say the same. So probably this is the immediate support level. So definitely that is a support level. I think it's definitely need to wait until the price reach there and how it actually interact the support level. So you can see that that probably coincide with this level. So support level, and if just can't come in above this immediate support level, then the next level will be somewhere around here, about 68, 67. So this is the region that you probably want to pay attention to. And another thing is, by reaching this level doesn't necessarily mean that it's a buy signal. This is just a support level that we assume. So we need to really see how the market think of it, whether the market respect the support level or whether it will just continue to go down because of lack of the quality demand. So it's very important to wait until the price reach this level and show some kind of the reversal, and also pay attention to how the volume evolve as well. But certainly around 68, 69 cents or even 70 cents, close enough to the support levels. All right, so this is Dnex. Okay, so would like to get your views on good entry point. Yep. Like I say, level is only the first thing that we decide, somewhere around 68, 70 cents. Once we decide the level, we need to pay attention to how the price actually approaching the level, and whether there is any bounce up from this level, whether the price actually respect that level, which is very important. And also pay attention to the volume, to spot for aggressive volume or spot for supply absorption. Okay, so that is for Dnex. Okay, so here we have another one from Chancy Wang, your view on KLC small and mid caps index and KLCI. Okay, so for KLCI index, I will just skip because I did post recently within the group itself. So the view is very new and valid. So definitely you can just refer to the chart. For small and mid cap, let me see. Small and mid cap. So FBM, small cap index, probably is this one that you're referring to. Okay, so at the moment, what we're seeing here is probably a range bound. I'll say a range bound. We have a nice uptrend previously. So this is the bridge of the uptrend, and subsequently we see the previous resistance now turn a support level. So at the moment is probably evolving this sort of the structure. So the immediate trading range will be this. Okay, so right now is at a trading range, so you need to bounce off from this trading range. Okay, and we need to see how it develop at the end of the phases, whether it can just go up to test a new high or whether it will just break down. So this is the small cap. And for mid cap, I'm not sure if you're referring to the 70 FBM small cap ACE almost FBM ACE mid cap. Maybe this is the one, FBM 70, that you refer to, the mid cap index. If not, just let me know in the group. I mean, so far it's probably within this big structure, and that is pretty much a trading range to me. So right now it's still within the trading range. Until we see it resolve itself out, I think it will just keep range bound. So overall, I think there are quite a few things to watch out here. There is a accumulation characteristic here, and that prompt a rally up, but it just unable to overcome. So this is still part of the trading range, but it did spend quite a fair bit of time at the upper range of the upper part of the trading range. So this is a strength by itself, but eventually it just can't really commit above. So here comes another reaction. So right now, the intermediate support level is somewhere around this line and bouncing up and down here. So we have quite a few levels. So this is the first level, that's the second level, 14,000, 14,400. All right, so these are the two indices. Okay, next one. from Dini. Hi, please review Gdex, Sersol, and AAYS. Okay, let's have a quick look. Gdex, Sersol, and AAYS. Gdex. Okay, there's nothing going on there. It's just a range. This is the immediate support level, 36, and is in a very tight range from 36 to 40 cent. So, I mean, depending on your strategy, if you want to buy at a support, sell at a resistance, that can be done. Just need to time it. Otherwise, I think it will be wise to just wait until it resolve itself out from the trading range, and you might just go out and test probably the next level at about 47. So nothing going on, and you can look at the volume in general. It doesn't very getting very exciting for the price and volume development. So far Gdex is in a trading range. And next one is what? Sersol. Sersol Berhad. Okay, so again, Sersol, I think we probably have some structure here. So you can see that there is a breakout. So this is the sort of like, cup and handle or whatever you want to call it. And do have a breakout recently. So the first breakout actually attracts some form of the supply, but the reaction is relatively shallow and actually form a higher low. That's actually prompt to another rally. So the real supply comes this bar here. You can see it here. This is about 200 million. So this is the supply come in as reflected in the rejection tail. And so far it doesn't really look very constructive. So at the moment, I think it's still testing the immediate support level at about 27. So maybe you can just wait until it break about 22, somewhere around there. Otherwise, if this can hold at this level, about 27.5, there's a chance for it to go up and test about 32. But so far, I think it just lack of the quality demand, which is quite quite common in Malaysia markets. There is not enough liquidity or the quality demand for the stocks. So that's why you see this kind of the price range just drifting down, because when the price doesn't move, a lot of people will tend to sell because they are kind of get stuck there or trapped there, and in order to avoid further losses, they will just sell right away. Okay, so Sersol, not much happening. And let's see about the last stock, AAYS. Okay, so this is AAYS. Let's see, AAYS Ventures. Um, okay, another stocks. So this is the resistance level, about 55. I mean, the supports or the meaningful support will be around maybe here, 35. So that could be the trading range that we are looking at. So far it's just in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the trading range. So if you want an H, 35 cent is probably some level that you want to pay attention to, and the resistance is about 55. So that is AAYS. Okay, Herman. Hi MJ, why MMC seems to be stagnant since the announcement? Okay, there is a reply to Herman from Ming. Well, the privatization price offer is 2 ringgit, therefore market price is unlikely to move higher. I think that could be the case. Let's have a look at MMC. I know there is some sort of the announcement recently. MMC, okay. So this is the stocks. All right, so yeah, I did have a position somewhere around maybe here or even right before, but I sold too early. Anyway, yeah, I think what you're referring to is the flat price at about 1.8. So let's see if we have any news. That could be this one. Controlling shareholder propose privatization of MMC. Okay, 2 ringgit per share. Okay, by Sai Mokta. Okay. So yeah, I think that could be the case. So since the offer price is 2 and there is not much upside, the upside is definitely capped at 2. So you can see that this is where the news is out. There's a spike of the volume, everyone just jump in, and the high is probably 1.9. So the upside is definitely capped at 2. Now, about 1.8, there's a discount of probably around 10%. So really, for this kind of the privatization, like the news say, this probably will go through. So if you are willing to wait, I think there is definitely a 10% upside to wait for the privatization. And the downside is your capital is trapped, and I don't really know when will the privatization be completed. So that is a downside, and I think that's probably the reason why there is not much interest, because the upside is capped and you need to wait until the privatization deal is done. But anyway, there is still a 10% upside there if it offers at 2. But bear in mind that the privatization deal, is not a guarantee. It's not 100%. So definitely need to bear in mind that as well. Okay, so that's the US stocks. Okay, US stocks. Okay, so I think the last stock is from FD, TENAGA. MJ would be interested to hear your views on TENAGA. I'm looking at a monthly chart over greater than 10 years and it looks like completing distribution and ready for markdown. Can we apply Wyckoff over such a long-term time frame? Yes. I'm assuming demand bottom will be 6.8. So let's have a look at your chart. Well, in terms of the structure, I would say is probably already breakdown of the support or the swing low level. It doesn't really look too bullish to me. But in terms of the supply, I don't really see heavy supply going on since probably 3 years ago from 2018. Let's look at the chart, a live chart here. But the short answer for this is yes. We can apply Wyckoff on a monthly chart, weekly chart, daily chart, 5 minute chart, because is the method is fractal, means that it can apply to different time frame as long as there is enough liquidity. So that's fine. If you look at the monthly chart, that's not an issue. Let's look at the chart for TENAGA. I think there's one thing that I just want to point out. So let's look at the monthly chart here. So you can see that my chart is sort of different from yours. I see that probably the maximum price is somewhere around 13 or 13 point something. But your chart, I think it does shows about 18 or 17. So you can see that there's a tail here. I think that would be around 17. I think the reason is this is not a dividend adjusted chart. So that's why it looks very different. So I think you also asked this question before, whether it's better to have a dividend adjusted. Well, for me, this is a better approach to have the dividend adjusted chart because it does reflect the fundamental. So you can just imagine that once the share actually distribute the dividend, that means that you already extracted the cash out. That's why it's always better, or always just a decent approach to reflect on the price as well, because the cash has been extracted out. So if we just look at this chart, we can see that this is a high here, and in 2018 it actually formed a higher high. But if we look at your chart here, so there is no higher high. In fact, it's a lower high. So this is a structural issue. So in terms of the price structure, we have seen the breakdown, and we do not see the higher high. So if we just look at the chart with the dividend adjusted, there is some strength in a chart here. So there's upthrust, which is a strength, even it just gets sell off. So there is just some supply come in here, and it's a localized distribution. So here's a reaction. But look at the swing low here. So we have a swing low, and right now it's still somewhere around 9. So the immediate support level is at 9. And even it just keep dropping, breaking down, the support level is still around 8. So overall, for this type of the structure, I would say is still a bullish structure. It doesn't look like a distribution structure to me. This is the accumulation structure, followed by marking up, and right now it's just forming its own structure. And the most important thing is this reaction. So this reaction in general just comes with relatively low supply. So I don't really view it as a distribution structure. And I think in terms of the dividend adjusted issue, is probably better to have your chart set to dividend adjusted, especially for the dividend stocks like the TENAGA or the bank stock, Maybank or other banks. Otherwise, you can see that the price, the difference of the price is actually varies quite a lot. So your chart actually show a 17, but mine is just a 17 point something. So I think it's probably better to have your chart adjusted with the dividend, and it's probably more accurate to look at it that way. All right, so TENAGA, that's my view, and definitely I don't look at it as a distribution. So the next support level will be 9 followed by 8, and based on how the price move, that is certainly not a character of distribution. All right, so I think that's it for all the questions, and thanks for all the questions. I think this is all the great questions. And if you have other questions, feel free to drop me in the Telegram group. And if you're not yet in my Telegram group, feel free to join in the Telegram group. The link is in the description below. All right, I will see you in the next episode. Bye.